Rodney Dunnigan is out there with a news conference on a double shooting that happened early this morning.
We are at the scene and investigators are asking if anyone has information to please call authorities.
We're going to scour the area for any video cameras. We're going to attempt to talk to everybody in this area. And again, if anybody who was driving through this area, walking through this area, heard or saw anything, please contact them.
Good people. That's why this happened is really a shock.
Sir, can you tell us what you saw, please?
Yo, it was like, bow, bow, bow. Then a loud scream, then it was like, oh my God. So I ran outside and I was like, oh my God.
Police say this wasn't a random shooting, a detail that still leaves this man with a lot of questions.
Who and why, would do something as terrible as this?
Guys, I am here live with the victim's mother. Can you tell me your thoughts, please?
My baby! You shot and killed my baby! Oh God!
Obviously, we're gathering as much information as we can.
I just want justice. I think he deserves the death penalty. He deserves to die. Electrocution, gas, firing squad. But he deserves to die for what he did to my sister and to his child.
Here on scene, gathering evidence about this double shooting this morning.
Witnesses say the suspect, Dwayne Murray, has a lengthy history of drugs, theft, and a slew of things that will be virtually impossible for the courts not to put this menace to society away for a long time.
Yeah, my client, Mr. Murray, is looking to take a plea deal. He's cooperating with the court in exchange to help with local drug dealers and illegal arms dealers to the vast crime network. So we're hoping that we get the mercy of the court, but he is cooperating.
Prosecutor, can you tell us what you're looking for?
We're looking to put Mr. Murray to death. We're not accepting plea deals. We have to send a message to all the other crime lords and murderers in the state. Mr. Murray, we're putting him to death. Your Honor, Mr. Murray has been a menace to society since the day he was born. There is no way the state is accepting a plea deal. Mr. Murray, he needs to be put to death.
Ma'am, you've known Mr. Murray for quite some time. Can you share with the court your experience with him and his background?
I think he just snapped. He's always struggled through life and he just couldn't get a break. I think he just snapped.
I think my client needs mercy. I think my client's life should grant him mercy in this case, and I plead the mercy of the court on behalf of my client, Your Honor.
A wretched man stood shackled in a courtroom. He had been imprisoned for quite a while, waiting on Judgment Day. And because of the hideous crimes that he had committed, he was scheduled to die. The penalty for his sins was death. And he stood trembling with fear as he stood before the bench of what is known as the toughest but fairest judge in the land. So here he is, guilty, standing before this just judge who was both tough and fair. The judge declared these words: "You have been found guilty of all charges against you. And today you're up for sentencing. Is there anything you'd like to say to the court?" The man, bound in shackles, having lived a hideous life, a life of crime, a life of perversion, a life of theft, he said, "Judge, I plead the mercy of the court." The judge held his breath. The others around him, looking at the judge's face, they also held their breath. The man's crimes were punishable by death. He was guilty. He deserved to die. But this judge looked differently, and he had presided over the case and had seen what this man had been born into, had now come to know his family, had now come to know the inherited generational curses, knew well of his condition, or what life had done to him. So he said to the man, as I observe you, you are a totally unlovable person by other standards. You have brought pain to many in this life, even in this courtroom. And you are worthy of the sentence of death. Nevertheless, I see something in you. And I love you in spite of you. And because I love you, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to take your punishment for you. I've decided to take your place. I will take your punishment. I will die in your place. The judge then declared, you are a free man. You can go now. The gavel pounds the desk, and the court is now utterly silent. The shackles are removed from the arms and the feet of the prisoner that was doomed to die. And the judge disrobes, and the shackles are placed on his hands and his legs. And the judge is led out of the courtroom to death row. And the guilty man is set free with tears of gratitude streaming down his face. You see, God is the righteous judge who sees in us what others can't see. And he himself takes our place and our sentence on that tree. Jesus died for us. And because he did, when we believe in him, he makes us faithful, putting us in the ministry. This, my friends, is the gift of mercy. You deserve to die. It should have been you. But the judge, the righteous judge, takes those shackles himself and said, I will die in your place. There's nothing good about you. There's nothing you've done to bless other people. You don't deserve this. You didn't earn this. But I give you this gift of mercy.